these AI and robots are so good, they're just going to keep replacing me. What's even the point? What's the point? Why should I even try if AI and robots are just going to keep taking my job?
Well, okay, so if you're a warehouse factory worker, yes, I totally agree with that. But one of the things that I preach to my kids all the time, like Gen Z kids, I've got 2 teenagers, and I say, listen, the one skill that you need to have that you can adopt that will protect you for the rest of your life and allow you to always make a living is the ability to look into another human being's eyes and connect one-on-one on a very deep level. If you can create a high EQ where you can connect with people, because most of kids their age are walking around like this with their cell phone in their face, they don't know how to connect with people. Because if you can do that, you'll always have a place in the world. When I look at what's going on with major corporations implementing AI, in most cases, they're eliminating their low-hanging jobs, which in a lot of cases are their most customer-facing jobs. The checkout counter at the grocery store, the customer service when you call. And the problem with that thought is, and a lot of companies are starting to realize this, is AI, the way that it's built, starts with logic and is trying to get to emotion. Whereas human beings start with emotion and we try to get logical. So there's this disconnect there that makes everything a little choppy. The easiest way I describe it is it's like watching Star Trek when Kirk is talking to Spock. They don't really sync up that well. And as time goes on, and AI will get better, I agree with that. But I think people are still going to get to a point where they want to deal with people. So having that ability to connect with people and really understand them at a core value and sell something is going to protect you in the long run.
So I actually like that concept, especially if you're, let's say, 40-year-old man, you're in an organization, you've been there, maybe you're in middle management. You've grown up in a unique time, right? Because you've grown up pre-digital, you grew up with maybe a typewriter, the Dewey Decimal System, and now everything is electronic. You probably remember popping a tape cassette into a radio, just waiting for your song to come on so you could record it.
Yeah, I do. That I do. And what's happened is people got to realize sooner than later that America's gone. And if you are living a life where the trajectory of your success is 100% dependent on the whims and ideas of others, you're going to have a real problem. If somebody else is deciding your future, if you're in a job, now great, here's the deal. I'm not here hating on W-2 jobs. I'm not saying if you're in a W-2 job, you need to scramble out of it right now, but you also need to understand that that can be taken away by somebody else. So there should probably be part of your plan that has a trajectory outside of somebody else's decision-making. That's how you protect yourself.
And listen, this is something that I try to preach as regularly as possible. We need to have multiple streams of income, because if you're totally reliant on the problem that you're solving now to be the same problem that you're going to be solving in 2 to 5 years, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. The problems you're solving now are not going to be the problems you're solving in the near future. In fact, I was reading a report earlier today that showed that the half-life of technical skills is about 2.5 years.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I saw that, what was it? I think Meta just laid off 600, I think it was like 6,000 or 600,000, whatever, it was some massive number of AI engineers just got laid off from their massive push. So what you're starting to see is the best engineers within AI development are now being able to use AI to advance the development of AI. So not even that job is safe.
I mean, I look at it this way. And I would just encourage people to just be honest with yourself for a second. You don't need to put this in the comments. You don't need to DM me or John. Just look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself this. If I was a step away from my position for 6 months, would the company go on? Would the business keep rolling? And if the answer is yes, you got a problem. You're stuck.
Yeah.
Well, so how do you break out of that? And what are the steps to move forward? Because I got to be honest, trying to tell someone, hey, go learn to code, go learn how to be a robotics mechanic. I don't know that that's going to be possible for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think, well, that's why you're seeing a surge in the trades right now, especially. You're seeing a massive surge in HVAC and plumbing and those things, because robots not going to come to your house and fix your toilet. They're not going to come replace your HVAC, at least not yet. So that's why the trades and the physical things that have to be done by a human are really surging. But if I'm somebody that is in a W-2 job and I realize every day is like Groundhog Day, I realize that Yes, if I died tomorrow, they'd run it, yes, they'd be sad about it, but they'd run an ad in 2 days and somebody else would be in my chair and trained to do what I'm doing in 2 weeks and life would move on. It's a little scary, but more to that, I think it's just a hollow existence. I think everybody on their own, on some level, I think splits into two groups. You either think that where you're at is all the world is ever going to give you. It's this myriad of systematic oppression, however it is, based on government or your gender or your creed or your color, or whatever it is, this is all that you can get. And people believe that are stuck. If that's what you believe, I'm not your guy. I can't help you. And then there's people that feel like, you know what, man, maybe I was made for a little more. Maybe I was built to have a little bit bigger voice and a little bit bigger presence in this universe. And if you've got that burning desire, the first step is to be really honest with where you are. And most people, by looking in the mirror, don't have the ability. They only see what feeds their ego. They're not looking for the warts. They're not looking for the problems in their own world that they need to address first, because you're never going to grow unless you really establish where you are today. And most people can't do that. So the first step is radical honesty about where you are in life and what your personal responsibility is in getting you to that place. Because a lot of people, like, for example, I know a very large real estate company, and people come to interview wanting to work for us. And I hear one of two different stories. I either hear, I haven't been doing enough, I need to be in a better environment, I need this, or I hear what their previous company didn't give them, what they didn't offer, what the company did. I don't hire any of those people, because if you have that mentality, you're going to bring it to mine. I'm looking for people with a radical level of self-accountability, because that's how you save yourself, because nobody's coming to save you. And as a matter of fact, now, like you said, the robots are coming to get you. It's even worse.